Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
Hi, Joel.
This is the Slowbuck Farm.
The Looney Tune Farm. I know, give me a second. Welcome to all our returning subscribers. If you're new here, hi. Hold on. Do your butts. It's going to be a fun ride. And anyone passing through? People pass through YouTube?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, November 25th. It's Thanksgiving week.
Eat until you pass out week.
Thanksgiving is the best holiday. Because it's all about the food. Last week was a week from you know what, and yeah. That's all I got to say about it. That's all I got to say about it. That's all I got to say about it. Not gonna say cuss words. Who'd we get love from?
No prep time. She just tells us to me. Glenna?
We do the same thing.
Jan? Bridget? Cheryl?
Cheryl.
Bleh.
Cheryl.
Carla? Barbara?
Who's your apple? Because I don't know your real name. I'm pretty sure you told me at one point.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was going to say
full.
something. And yourself. Laura. This is normal. As I said, welcome to the ride.
Sean wanted to know if I ever thought that if I ever thought only 1,800 stitches would be in my vocabulary or something like that. No. I never really thought until I joined your challenge group, Cheryl, that only 1,800 stitches would be a low week. So a couple people have asked me about the challenge group that I'm in. It is Cheryl McKinney's Daily 30 group. It is a closed group. Solid chance I will forget to ask her before we upload this video what her process is for getting on the wait list. So, yeah, Cheryl, if I haven't asked you, you know. Like I said, this is full. That's our intro for the week. Let's go on to whips.
Okay.
Whips!
No finishes, I'm assuming?
I gotta finish.
Oh, you do. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to do something, aren't I? Ink Circles, Dragons of Sumatra. Get a little bit done. Like that and that. Just a little bit. I'm actually about to round the corner and start going downward.
Yeah.
And then I get to do the most dangerous and nail-biting part of this entire stitch.
Does the corner match game.
And considering how big this thing is, if it doesn't, it's scrap. I've been going out of my way to make sure that's not a problem. It should be fine. But, yeah, actually, probably when I get a chance, I'm going to just trace down the line. Sure. I'm only slightly worried about it.
Only slightly. And what fabric are you stitching Dragons of Sumatra on, honey?
I don't know, you usually tell them.
You're stitching it on 16 count. Picture this plus thunderstorm.
See? It's on 115, right? DMC.
And it's stitched in DMC 115, which is one of the variegateds. Okay. I gotta find the right bag first. So, if you recall from last week, we started Thanksgiving week this last Friday in the Daily 30 group. We had to stitch three whips representing the pilgrims and the Indians and the first participants of the first Thanksgiving. I finished those last week. If you're curious, go back and watch it. I did turkey sausage and Main Street. So to finish up my stitching for that, I did some cardinal pointage. I also used this as a definition of forks. Cat butt incoming. We have this thing on virtual stitchers when the cat gets in my lap, we yell cat butt. Well, when a cat gets in anybody's cat gets in my lap, we yell cat butt. So I did this as my fork, because whenever I finish a portion of this pattern, I come to a fork in the road deciding on what I want to stitch on next. Case in point, I finished all the flowers. Now I was like, where do I go next? I also did this for stitching on something that won out as a new start over something else. The explanation for all of this is in last week's video. There were no forks at the first Thanksgiving, and the bald eagle won over the turkey for. I just dropped my needle minder. Bald eagle won over the turkey for the national. All right, here is my progress. As threads fall everywhere. The single stitch borders. Well, okay, so there's a lot of threads hanging. I guess I'm sort of trying to teach myself parking. I don't know. Anyways, what I stitched on. This is stitched on 18 count Cleveland Fog with a cat.
Hand dyed by the Silva Farm.
Hand dyed by the Silva Farm with a cat helping me currently. That's why we're getting a little bumpy. Pull this down a little bit. Sorry. It's a little challenging to do with the cat on my lap. So, I finished. This is the bottom of page 1. This is the end, so page 1. So I finished the border on page 1, which was to finish this red flower and put this brown flower in. So then I stitched this inside border, and I started on the first motif in the corner for those 3 prompts, and that totaled 429 stitches.
Can I just point out the smart thing?
What?
Do you remember, like, not even a week ago, you were like, why doesn't the cat sit in my lap anymore?
Yes. Well, okay.
So, this is just I think this is very ironic and hysterical.
After the dog passed, the cat avoided me for days, and I was not happy because I thought he held something against me because the dog literally passed away in my lap. But we're not going to talk about that. The cat is not my BFF and is up my tailpipe. Okay.
Except when he's up my tailpipe.
So, in representation of the first Thanksgiving menu, which had lots of crazy things on it, like lobster and green beans and dried fruit and chestnuts and hickory nuts and chicken and goat and...
Hey, lobster's easy to get.
I don't even remember what else was on the list. I stitched on Santa's house. Let's put it right side up because I'm pretty sure we determined that was a fruitcake. I'm pretty sure there's dried fruits and nuts and the baked goods. I also use this as a zoo animal because our zoo in Cleveland has reindeer.
Reindeer. Okay, I caught this random...
Bye, kitty. So, there we have it. This is stitched on 14 count Opalescence Mountain Rose by Silk Weavers. What did I stitch on? You need to see what I actually stitched on. I just dropped something. So, the white snow, the snow under the house is all done. This reindeer is literally missing his cheeky color, and he's done. And I finished the snow under the first reindeer. So, that was my stitching. Those 2 prompts. That totaled 405 stitches. On Santa House this week. You guys know the drill. I gotta put everything away or it gets all and yeah.
I'm just gonna get a little like button point and just have that flash across the screen every time you do it in editing. That'd be fun to do.
Didn't stitch on that this week. Okay, so the first TV dinner was born out of leftover food Swanson's had after Thanksgiving in 1950 something. So we had to sit on something we could relate back to TV. The largest turkey ever was 86 pounds. Why I can remember that and not the year the first TV dinner was created, no one knows. So we had to sit on something large. So you watch Beauty and the Beast on TV, and that dress is awful large.
Hey, honey, I'm pretty sure you can hide the turkey in that dress.
You could probably hide the turkey in this dress because this dress is huge. I did not realize this pattern was as big as it was either when it was first gifted to me. I opened it up and went, whoa.
Okay, how you know Joe's having fun?
Huh.
Look, hon, I'm half a face.
Jeez.
Now I'm no face.
Now you have no face. This is on a 14 count Bewitched by Hand-Dyeds by Stephanie. I have done a lot in the dress. You can kind of see I'm color complete. I'm able to color complete now in these swoops of the dress. Down here is that hemline, and over here is that underskirt part. Those will come after I finish the main bulk of the dress. I also resorted to circling my progress in the pictures in the Daily 30 because explaining where I was just made me feel stupid. So for those 2 prompts, I did stitch on this week. I was worried. I needed it out. So those 2 prompts got me 407 stitches on bell dress.
A little bit of bell, a little bit of bell. You got some more bell? You're in Laura's stash.
After we finished filming last week, I finished up my stitching on something with letters in it because Thanksgiving was instituted by a woman who campaigned for 17 years in the 1800s via letter writing. Abraham Lincoln finally said, okay, we'll make it a national holiday. There was more to it than that.
And women have been nagging. Wait, that was just an extension of it. Never mind.
I pulled out Main Street to stitch on because there was letters on all of the buildings as to what is in them. Someone also said, Laura, there's letters in the books and you're on the bookshop. Okay, point. Fair enough. So my 200 stitches even was the sidewalk and the bottom border. My sidewalk, my building is 1 row too low. On my library, so my sidewalk is only going to be 1 row high. This is how much I care.
Sounds like Wellington.
That's what I thought. I said, a lot of the streets in Wellington, low points, high points, like they're not
exactly
flat.
a new town. It's an old town.
So I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Who cares? Does anybody care other than me? So I have three of the buildings done. So there it is. There's what I'm working on as a whole.
This one isn't done yet?
Nope. I gotta finish the building. I've got a tree to put in up there, and I've got some fence. That was 200 stitches even. This is stitched on a solo hand-dyed by the Slovak Farm. Sorry, rolling. I try to talk quickly so that we're not here forever, but I don't want to talk too quickly because the videos where the Flosstuber is like when they're talking drive me insane.
So be in a hurry.
Yes.
I don't talk like that because there's maybe 3 people on the planet who can actually hold a conversation with me at that speed, and you're not one of them.
Nope. So that was whips for the week. I put in maybe 5 stitches on Ride Forth Singing. Oh no, I lied. I put in maybe 5 stitches on Ride Forth Singing. Maybe. But then I decided today is day 3 of Stitchonomy's Winter Sal for 2019. So, if you don't know, Stitchonomy for Halloween and usually the winter holiday does a daily sal where you get like a little small and it's part of a bigger pattern. I'm pretty sure the free sign up is over. I signed up for it while it was free. And I think once you're in her newsletter system, you're always in the system for the free pattern. Obviously, she always does one for Halloween in October. Last year, both of them were a calendar of the days of the month. This year, Halloween was a calendar. Winter is the snowflake motif thing. I have stitched, it's day 3. I started today. I am holding it the wrong way. So this was day 1. This is day 2. I'm going to work on this. This doesn't fit any prompts, but it's okay. I'll get to that in a second.
Your entire life does not have to revolve around prompts.
I haven't counted these stitches yet. So, but I figured since it was only day 3, I wanted to get caught up, and I can pretty much bang out catching up tonight. That's my whips for the week.
And go on.
Now we have a finish, folks. We have a finish. The Woolly Ewes Silent Night, the log cabin ornament, as I affectionately call it. This picture does it zero justice. I needed to finish this up because the piece of fabric it's on, where it's at, the ornament that's in between it and another ornament, I need to get FFO'd by next Wednesday for guild meeting.
Get mine stitched.
So I'm like, I'm just going to bang out this ornament and get it done and figure out how I can fit it into prompts if I can fit it into prompts. Well, I was able to fit it into a couple prompts. Yay! Look at that. It's so beautiful. Okay, with it. Now, I can color converted it. My white is a little bit lighter than the called for. My gray is a little bit lighter than the called for. I felt they were a little bit more true to life with a log cabin because I'm obsessed with log cabins. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the picture. I'm going to put the picture in where I paused. Yesterday, Mother and I were at the IX Center Christmas Connection, and I was not only stitching standing up, but I was stitching standing in a line in public. I see you stitching standing up, Bendy. I raise you standing in a line. So.
What? You did not tell me about this. Why was your mom not videotaping this?
I was standing in the line cross-stitching. Hey. So. This 506 stitches on it went towards both. It went to 2 November challenges. 506 stitches went for shelter, counted for shelter, because this is the kind of shelter I would love to have. A log cabin in the woods.
You want a log cabin in the woods, big enough to fit all your Stitch, all your dogs, and maybe your husband if you can squeeze him in.
Maybe. And I am thankful for the shelter that I have, even though I want to move really, really bad and I don't necessarily love my shelter. At least I'm warm and have a roof over my head. As you can see, I did not stitch the words. I filled in for snow. I filled in the bottom with snow. That was 259 stitches. And because it's on a piece of fabric that I dyed myself, I use this for the prompt job. After I finish, now obviously this will be for after I finish my last 500 stitch prompt for the month. But this represents the job that I love, which is my fabric dyeing business, my bag making business, my bath and body business. Doesn't necessarily represent the daycare job, because I don't love it. But, so I used that. I'm folding up and putting it away. Hold that. It is finished. It is ready to be FFO'd. The end. Haul, y'all.
Her haul.
It's not new haul. It's haul I forgot to show you.
Oh, yeah. Did I show them what I got for this? No. I forgot to show them what I got for this, didn't I?
I don't think so. I don't know. What did you...
This.
Yeah, you showed that. Friday night, it's 2 Fridays ago, it's Stitch Night. I was talking to Shelly. We were talking about the retreat. She said she was going to bring some notions, such as these stitch hoppers. Thread hoppers? No, they're called thread hoppers. And I was like, wait, you had the My Big Toe thread hoppers? Where are they? Because why have I not seen them? Well, they end up kind of getting put in a corner during Stitch Night because of space constrictions. So I bought a thread hopper because I've wanted one of these. Hopefully it helps with my inabilities to count.
What was Joe's exact reaction as soon as he saw it?
What?
Why didn't you get me one? And Laura went, I knew I should have gotten 2.
And no joke, legit, like a month ago, maybe not a month ago, but a multitude of weeks ago, I received. It's been a while since I ordered because they came all the way from Australia. Silks for You silks. I ordered quarter of a hank silks for one nation. So,
it's the red, white, and blue.
PR035 for the blue. And I'm going to have to rewrite my numbers down because they are starting to rub off. I will list below the 3 numbers that I got. The 3 colors that I got. This is for One Nation. We are starting it in March. I don't have a hashtag for it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I may I'm probably just gonna post it with. I think they have it as the big ass flag cell. Flag. It's a big flag. Actually, one of my local stitching friends was complaining today about it, and she's like, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" I'm like, "Yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it."
Do you need to borrow my super frame?
No. But I am gonna have to find my Q-snips.
That was a funny story. We'll share that later.
On to plan. plans and announcements? Do you have plans, darling?
Yeah, I'm gonna make my name badge
Your name badge for what, darling?
for Guild. I said last week and the week before. Finally getting around it. Hi, I procrastinate. So do you.
Not like you.
I didn't say like me. I just said procrastinate. Of course you can't challenge this awesomeness.
That's not awesomeness.
Hey, I plan on doing it with plenty of time to spare. Should have it done by Saturday.
Okay.
So I should have it finished by next week. I hope. Unless something explodes.
Okay.
And after I get that done, I'm going to step giants a little bit.
So, Wednesday afternoon, between when I get home from work and when we go to guild meeting, and I teach PSR that week, I'll be FFOing his name badge because he's going to finish it Tuesday night.
I already told you when I was going to finish it. You didn't listen.
So.
Okay, by the way, what do I get if I actually get it done by Saturday?
Eternal
Aside from an apology.
gratefulness because I won't be scrambling to FFO. Okay. My plans. No new challenges were issued this Friday. No new challenges were issued this Friday. We are wrapping up the token to challenges for the year. Sunday, I believe it's Sunday, the 30th, whatever the 30th is the last day. The boutique's going to be open this year. After that, if you don't use the tokens you have earned, you lose the tokens you have earned for 2019. Everybody starts with fresh. So, Cheryl didn't give us new challenges for Friday because technically Thanksgiving week ends Black Friday. So, just as ease for... I'm 100% going with as ease for herself and the other admins, grading things, keeping on top of that. No new challenges. Something is happening in December, we just don't know what.
I suspect it might involve a red guy and snowflakes.
And Cheryl has told us that we need to determine, that we have until December 15th to declare what 3 whips we want to get the most work done on in 2020. And those will apply to the yearly challenges. I'm really hoping she lets us double dip the yearly challenges with the weeklies and the monthlies, because I haven't got to any of the yearly challenges this year because I ain't got the time.
And you only do 1800.
If she doesn't, oh well. I'll put my 3 whips on there on the list so that I have them so that I can participate if I have the time. Plain and simple. No, I don't know what 3 whips those are. I'm pretty sure Ride Forth Singing is going to be one of them. I have a solid number of whips that I want to get finished by the end of 2020. And her recommendation was a big whip, a medium whip, and a small whip. So, I have to look at my list of goals for 2020 and go from there. Friday we are filming our 2020 plans video. And you guys will see that sometime in mid-December. So, with no new challenges, I have 2 challenges left in Thanksgiving week, which are to stitch on something that has a woman on it, because there were only 5 women at the first Thanksgiving dinner, and to stitch on something we can relate to space, because the first meal eaten in space after the first spacewalk was Thanksgiving supper. Those 2 challenges, along with meeting the requirement for the We Are Thankful for Our Spouse prompt for the month, go to, I gotta find it. Ride forth singing. I have one more prompt that I need to put 500 stitches
And
on.
in case anybody forgets the reason why that's spouses, that's the one I picked.
That's the one you picked. I don't know if you're right. I don't know if I said that.
You did.
So I just sat here for a while and was like, spouse. What whip can I relate to my spouse? Well, Lady of the Flag, because we started a whip. We started our 9/11 projects together, but I was already planning on stitching Lady of the Flag for at least 2 of the monthly prompts. I thought, well, I don't know. Well, I could do this. I could. Finally, I decided, why don't I just let my husband pick it, and that would be a great representation of my spouse. So that's what we did, and this is the one he picked. So, the 200 stitches, I hope I didn't flash chart there. The 200 stitches will get the bottom border finished, and then if I do the 500 stitches, it would probably finish up that motif, which would just leave me this corner of it to finish. What? But that's gonna be a pain in my butt because it's big. So I'm not sure which one's gonna get the 500 stitches and the other ones are gonna get 200. I ain't got that far in my brain yet. So be it. Of course, for freedom, I have to pick Lady of the Flag. She relates to 9/11. She was charted after the events of 9/11. She represents our freedom. She says liberty on it. Lady of the Flag it is. Laughter will be New Year's Fairy. Because kidding her up in a metallic conversion was plenty of laughter. My friends on Virtual Stitchers convinced me to start her. My friend, my Stitchy twin, and I love Mirabilias, and we laugh constantly when we are together and when we're not together because we group text. I had to put the phone on Do Not Disturb because of the group text. Yes, dear.
And I laugh hysterically when I listen to you talk about you stitching it in metallics.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a good relationship to metallics. Water. Water? So, I'm thankful I don't have to walk miles and miles every single day to collect water and then back home and then repeat it day after day after day. I can walk to 3 rooms of my house and just have ready access to water. I'm very thankful for that. So how do we relate water to what we're stitching? The obvious answer in what I stitch would be one of my winter themed ones with frozen water, snow. Oh no, Laura has to go completely left field on this.
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for this weird connection. This is gonna be funny.
He's waiting for the weird connection. I'm going to stitch on my angel in my nativity. How does that relate to water? Well, there is a lot of biblical representations with water. In the Old Testament, you have the Great Flood. The first one I can think of. The Old Testament, you have the Great Flood. What?
Parting of the Red Sea.
The Parting of the Red Sea. That was the other one I was trying to think of that it just went. Parting of the Red Sea. In the New Testament, Jesus and water are like hand in hand. He takes fishermen and makes them fishers of men. He turns water into wine. We are baptized with water as Christians. And the nativity is all about the birth. He walks on it. And the nativity is all about the birth of Jesus. Jesus is all about the water.
I got a really smart one, if you want to hear it. Her water broke.
Oh, Jesus, no. Absolutely not.
I know, I'm terrible.
He is terrible. But water is a big thing in biblical representations. Water was a very important thing in biblical times because they lived in a pretty dry area. They lived in a pretty dry place. So
safely drinking water is important almost everywhere.
Well, yes, but they lived in a pretty dry place, so water is very important to them. So water symbolically shows us how important Jesus is in our lives. So I'm going with nativity. This is probably going to be a 200 stitcher. It might be the 500 stitcher. But that's how I'm relating it, and I'm using my creativity because I was sitting there today thinking, how am I going to relate one? Well, that's kind of boring to use a Christmas one. And then all of a sudden I went, wait, nativity, Jesus, water. I gotta be weird.
That's a really simple one. What we do when we walk into his house every time.
Uh-huh.
We're Catholic, and just so you know, there's always a little bowl or a fountain of holy water by the door. You dip your finger in the water and make the sign of the cross when you walk in the church.
You bless yourself. The last one we have to stitch on something for is health. And how we're thankful for our health. Oh, and my other reasoning with trying to relate nativity to one of the monthly prompts is, of the 10 monthly prompts, there would be one other thing that I would say I'm thankful for in my life, and that is my faith. So I kind of decided, well, that kind of connects it in there too. So the last one is health. And I'm like, well, how am I going to relate something to health? I could have
helped you with that one, but no.
I got bad health in the cookies and the candy and the crud in Santa House.
You have the drugstore on Main Street.
I got all kinds of healthy stuff on the Main Street stores. And, walking around town is healthy because you get some good health. I could say that any of my stitching relates to health because it relates to my mental health, which gave me a really good idea. I want to get this done because I want to put it up. It is the Witchy Stitchers tribute to Anthony Bourdain. Mental health. Need I say more? I'm pretty sure there's 200 stitches left in those pumpkins. That's all I have to finish in it. So this is obviously going to be a 200 stitch project. Pretty sure there's 200 stitches left in those pumpkins. So this will be a finish. This is going to finish this up so that I can FFO it because my beloved Bourdain. Plans took a little bit longer than intended, but there was some explanation going on there. No real announcements this week for much of anything. I'm still in the thick of dealing
I have one when they're done
with everything. So I'm really sluggish with getting stuff done. I apologize if you guys order something and it just seems to take forever. It's Thanksgiving week. I'm in the thick of dealing with all of our junk. So, what did you have to say, darling?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you have a safe and happy holiday.
That's what I was going to say when we were... Yeah. I was getting there. If you are in the U.S., I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. If you are not in the U.S.,
eat some turkey anyway. It's good.
I hope you have a happy week. If you are shopping Friday, be safe. I will not be venturing out Friday.
I'm so sorry. If you go shopping on Friday, more power to you.
If I need things from the store on Friday, it's going to be Walmart grocery pickup.
I don't even think that would work.
I don't even think I would do that. I think I would go to like the legit grocery store that's on the other side of town that's kind of hard to get to save myself the hassle. But
I go to Aldi's, even Save-A-Lot will probably be packed.
Right. So, yeah. Be safe with all of your holiday travels and everything. Shop well. I won't be shopping. I might go to Joann Fabric sometime this weekend because fabric's going to be on sale. I don't know. I love me some fabric.
Have fun.
All right. That's it for the week.
Like, favorite, comment, subscribe.
Tell the people. Okay, very good. Bye, guys.